Hello and welcome to Hixxy Studio. Today I'm going to show you how to make this sunset lakeside card, and I'm going to be using this Nellie's Choice stamp. It's from the Idyllic Floral Scenes collection and it's called Lake with Rowing Boat. Okay, so we're going to start with the background, and I'm going to bring in my inking mat. Now I have a circle here. You can cut one from paper. This one is from another set of stencils. But anything that's round, because you want to mask out the middle. So we're just going to place this in the middle of our piece of paper. And we're going to you can use the spray to hold it down. I'm going to just use a little bit of low tack tape, doubled round on itself, and then I'm going to stick that on the back just to keep that in place. Now I am just going to get my this stamp out because I want to be able to I'm going to take the stamp itself off of there for the moment. Just want to use the acetate image just to make sure I've got enough room all round in order to complete the border, because this whole bit here is the same piece of card as this, so I want to ink right out to there. Just want to make sure I've kind of got that in the right place, which is fine. Okay, so let's get our colours of our oxides that we're going to use today. So I've got, for the yellow, I've got a nice bright squeezed lemonade, and I've gone for a bright set of colours here. I've got spiced marmalade for the orange, and we've got fired brick for our red. So a really nice kind of bright orangey sunset as opposed to a pinky one. And literally all I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my squeezed lemonade, and I am going to start inking around. I do want to just grab a piece of paper before I get too far in. Purely, I'm going to fold it into 4. I just want something where I can rest my hand so that I can not put sort of messy fingerprints or get my fingers, well, any more messy. Okay, so literally let's go. Now, although I have stuck that down, I am just going to give it a little bit of a bit of pressure on so that I can feel what I'm doing. I'm not worried too much about how far out I'm going. As you can see from the finished one, that the yellow does kind of end up being very much more muted than this once the orange and the red are added on. So we're going to go around here. Okay, so literally just going around that circle, and then I'm going to get my orange. This is my spiced marmalade, and I'm going to start sort of around the edge of the yellow. And now it doesn't look very good at the moment because we haven't blended the two, but all I want to do for the moment is just lay that colour onto the card, and then I will add on, whoops, I will blend in, not add on, I will blend this in shortly. So I've got the orange down, and I will add more orange in a moment, but let's get that back into the yellow, and then I'm going to start to blend that. And you can see that that yellow is starting to take on more of the orange. That line is kind of, that hard line is disappearing. But I do want it a bit more orangey than I've got at the moment. So we're going to do the same thing. Now we've got the lots of nice sort of wet ink. I'm going to go back and start adding more orange over the top here. And again, in a moment, you'll see that the orange starts to fade as well once we start getting the red. But if you just use the red, it just wouldn't look the same. So you do need this sort of succession of colour to get the effect that we want of this sort of sunset. So let's grab our red. This is the fired brick, and again we're going to do the same. So I'm going all the way out. Remember, I want a large piece of card that's going to sit on my card. So I've gone a little bit far in with the red there, but not to worry. It's not the end of the world. This red round. And again, at the moment it just looks very harsh, but we will start to blend that in a moment. Get the colour down first. And you see I'm using that piece of paper just for my hand to rest on, so that I am not lifting up the ink with my fingers. Getting this red on, this nice fired brick, and then once I've got this little bit here done, I'm going to go back in with our spiced marmalade and start to blend that. So, I don't worry too much about my brushes getting contaminated. I don't think it's a big issue personally. I don't find that I end up really contaminating my inks too much. It's kind of a personal choice really. You might want to keep some brushes that are purely for blending, that don't actually go onto the ink pads. But this is how I work. I find it works for me. I'm not too fussy. If I think, if you look here, I have got a fair bit of orange and I have got a touch of orange here, but it doesn't take much for that to go, to be lifted back off. So I could say it's kind of a personal choice. What I would say though is to, even when you like blending different colours, I still have brushes for my colour groups. So I have a set, I say a set, I have a few brushes for my sort of yellows and oranges. I have a different set of brushes for my reds. So it's not like I'm constantly sort of using the colours, mixing the colour, lots of different colours on a brush. It just happens to be when I'm blending, and I've got a little bit of a mark there. So just keep going. You can see how that yellow sort of tends to disappeared. We started with that really bright yellow in the middle, and we've now got much more muted orange going out into a red. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring back in my the acetate piece. Stuck to the stamp again here, just to check that I'm kind of happy with how that is looking. I'm going to actually turn it round that way. That's nice and orange. I might just bring the red in a little bit more here. It's just kind of because I want that darker edge, the outside part of the card. So let's kind of sit there, and then I've got kind of a nice dark edge that's going to, in fact, I've already got my I've got like a frame here, so I can already see what I can see around the edge of the card, and I'm quite happy with that. Actually, I might go a little bit more down here with the red. So don't worry about, you know, not don't worry. Be prepared to go back in and play. You can keep playing until you're happy with you've got the colours sort of roughly how you want them. Now I've put all the lids on, but I know I'm going to need that yellow again. So I'm just going to move that to one side, and I just want to clear up this. I'm just going to spray a little bit of water, and I'm going to grab a piece of rice paper. I'm getting it everywhere. Okay, right. So I'm now going to give this a bit of a blast with the heat gun. Oh, no, I'm not. Ooh, ooh. Still got my little mask on. Let's take this off. Now, that is obviously too bright for what I want. And you can see here what I did is I've taken my squeezed lemonade. Now I can see that perhaps I do have a bit too much orange on my brush. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean that off on a bit of paper before I go back onto my ink pad. Because I do want this nice yellow now. Okay, so I am just literally going to go over this like that. I'm not worried about it now going out over, because it will create that kind of haze. This gives it a nice yellow. Now, if I had not masked that off, this would not have that nice crisp edge, and the orange would have sort of crept in as I was blending. So even though it looks like, oh, why bothered, you just gone back over it with the yellow, it's really important because it gives that nice edge and allows you to kind of really define the colour of it. Okay, right, now we've got everything like that done. We're going to just give it a blast with the heat gun. And then we're going to stamp our image. On top. Now I am going to pop this into my stamping platform so that I can make sure that I get a really good crisp image. I need to first of all decide where I'm going to put it. So let's turn my piece that way. Ooh, what's that? Oh, it's a bottom box. Move all my magnets. Ooh. And we're going to pop that in. Just put the magnets on. Ooh. And then I'm going to take my stamp and decide exactly how I want to position that. Like so. Now you could just do this sort of stamping onto a bit of foam mat, but this way you will well, I will be able to go back in if something hasn't stamped quite crisply enough, then I can ink the stamp again and go back in over it. Okay, so and I'm just going to turn it around this way so that I can push down. Make sure that I push down everywhere. Now, like I say, if this comes off, that'll do. Like I say, if it hadn't, then I could have gone back in as it's on my stamp platform and re-inked that. But I'm quite happy with that. So we're going to move that out the way. And I'm just going to leave that on there because there'll be some residual ink like that. Okay, so now I have this stamped. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stick my frame on. And then I am going to use my ruler to mark an even border all the way around. So let's stick this on. Now, remember, this ink is still a little bit damp, so sometimes the glue doesn't really want to take to begin with, because what it's trying to stick itself to is still a bit too damp, but we'll give it a go. Okay, so I am just deciding where I want to place this. I've cut this border, this inner border, so that it goes along the edges of the image, but the top and bottom I've given it a little bit more room, so that like the ground is coming down more and you've got a bit more sky. So that looks like it has decided it will be happy to stick. So let's just put that glue to the side, and then I'm going to bring in my guillotine, and then oh no, I'm not. Before I need to do the guillotine, I need to mark it, otherwise I don't know where to cut, do I? So I have two different rulers with these gradation marks, and the reason I have two is because this one does inches, this one does centimeters, and it just depends what mood I'm in. So I'm going to use this one for now, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to check how much did I do there. I think I did 1/4 inch. Yeah. Okay. So I'm literally lining it, the edge up with my ruler, and I'm just going to make some marks at the top and bottom, not all the way down, because I don't really want the pencil marks to show, but I'm doing it top and bottom so that I've got a guide. It doesn't matter then which bit I cut off first, I've got a guide, hopefully, she says, famous last word, that I can use to cut this off. So that gives me a 1/4 inch all the way around. Right, let's grab the guillotine now. Now's the time. So the first cut, I am lining up those two bits I've marked, because at the moment nothing is square, because I won't necessarily have stamped it on square. Okay, so that's there. So now you can see I can put it up against the top, which I know is level, and then I've got this mark here that I can cut down to. Same here. Now butts up, because I know that's square. Say square, you know, a straight line, straight edge. That one down, and then this is the one where I no longer have a mark, so I need to do a quick mark on that. And I've realised, look, this is what I'm doing. I icky fingers over the top of that. So just be careful. All that care I took over inking the image, and then doing this, I completely forgot. Inky fingers. Really inky fingers. And then there we go. Right. Okay. So this will now sit. Oh, look at that. Never mind. You get what I've done. Just be cleaner with your hands than me. This is going to stick on here. And then we're going to do a sentiment. Now, this stamp doesn't come with a sentiment, so I'm going to use one from Julie Hickey, Everyday Sentiment stamps. I'm very, very wary now about putting my hands over that to rub it down, because they're so messy. So, and then this is going to go on. Yeah, so Julie Hickey designs everyday stamps, everyday sentiment stamp sets is what we're going to use to create the sentiment. Okay, here we go. Oh gosh, a stray magnet from my stamping platform. What did we do? We did birthday wishes. So birthday And then where's wishes? Oh, there. Birthday. Wishes. We'll grab our Versafine there. And let's grab my little bit of card for stamping sentiment. Try not to get my inky fingers on that one. There's our birthday wishes. Glue on the back of that. And there. And then I'm going to use just a little bit of 3D glue gel to stick that on. Just so that it sits level. Got that on first. There we are. So that is our Nellie's Choice. It's Lake on the Shore. It's from the Idyllic Floral Scenes. There are a couple of other of these stamps from this set that I've done some cards with. So have a look on the channel to see what else I've done. There's the Inky Fingers version. And there's the Clean Fingers version. And you can see also the colours are slightly different. I've done a lot more red on that one than I have on that one. So yeah, they will come out different every time. Just hopefully not too inky fingered. Thank you for joining me.